Yeah, I think we're going on right now. Are we on, Mark? Mark is giving my cue. He's been standing by here like, man, since 9 a.m. this morning. Mark's been the solid guy hanging out with the crew, and Catherine and Dick as well, and Tara. Hey, I'm Elisa, and we're back. It's the Wild and Scenic Film Festival, and man, all kinds of subjects, whether that we just heard about jaguars in North America. You knew about that, didn't you? But I didn't know about it. Yeah, you read about it, and it's important to hear about things like this, or restoring the salmon, or someone taking adventure and kayaking down the Green River. So many incredible stories, so many great causes. Well, now we're going to talk about poop, which really applies to every single one of us. All kinds of animals, mammals, humans, right? It's all about worse than poop. I have Vanessa Warhead here with us and Professor Elliot. And they are here to talk about their film that they brought here. Have you guys been to Wild and Scenic before?
No.
Well, welcome back. Okay,
You've heard about it.
You've heard about. What have you heard about Wild and Scenic?
Well, I've only heard what she heard because she told it to me, and she said this was supposed to be one of California's best film festivals.
It is. So you've heard it hearsay, but it is true. Did you know? I mean, it is the largest. It's the largest film fest of its kind in the United States, maybe the world. And you get to feature a film here that you are in this film.
True.
I keep telling him he's really lucky.
It's a big deal. I know. You are lucky. So you say car emissions are worse than poop.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that? How is that true?
Well, it kind of explains itself in the movie. It was hard to make it like 6 minutes, but the basic idea is so carbon dioxide is worse than poop because if you have a little bit, it's okay. It can turn into dirt. The plants need it, and kind of goes the same with carbon dioxide. But when you have a lot, kind of like poop, it starts to be a problem.
It can be a problem. Are you talking to like if you have, huge, when you drive down I-5 and you see all those huge cattle, I don't want to call it cattle ranches, but the animal factories, right? Like all those cows?
Yeah.
They're probably generating a lot of poop.
They are. And that's kind of worse than poop,
Yeah,
too.
it kind of is.
The point of
You're
the
right.
film is to educate kids and their parents about climate change, and to make the invisible visible. So carbon dioxide is this sort of natural gas, and it's everywhere, and it comes out of our mouths when we breathe, and it's natural when it's in natural quantities, but we have been pumping it out of the ground and creating huge quantities that we can't see. And so the idea behind the film is to make it visible, and make it visible as a negative.
How did you guys get involved in creating this film in the first place? And why did you decide to take that direction and looking at waste, poop through that?
Well, she got the idea, and then I kind of took it on because she thought that I'd be a good star, and I said, well, okay. I'm an 8-year-old person here. I don't exactly know what I'm getting myself into because I've never done one of these things before. So she just asked me, and I said, well, give me some time to consider it. Sure. So, yeah, I mean, now it does kind of pay off.
It does? What have been some of the payoffs?
Well, like coming here, for instance, going to
That's true.
India. I mean, that's pretty huge.
So I just heard you went to India. So what were you guys doing in India?
We were invited to the CMS Vadavaran Environmental Film Festival in New Delhi, and they put us up for several days in New Delhi and showed our film. And yeah, it was a pretty amazing experience.
That's incredible. I know. What was what were some of the highlights of the trip? What was that like to be in India and to be showing your film?
It's crazy.
Yeah, crazy?
Yeah.
We rode an elephant.
Too crazy.
You rode an elephant.
Yeah, so, as you can imagine, a 6-minute-long film wasn't the whole time we were in India. And, if we could apparate or something, we would come back. But, I mean, we got to do all these fun things, and kind of like up here, I guess. I mean, we've only been here one day, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah, you're having a good time.
Yeah.
So in India, you rode an elephant. What was everyone's reaction to your movie in India? I'm curious.
It was pretty positive. It was pretty positive. I think, I was kind of concerned about what the reaction would be because their economic situation is so different than ours. But sort of a self-selecting crowd in a way, and the people who were there were very environmentally aware and were very conscious. I mean, it's pretty obvious too. Delhi is now the most polluted city in the world, more than Beijing.
Yeah.
And the air was, would you say, Elliot, how was the air in New Delhi?
Pretty polluted. I mean, yeah, but we flew in through China. And there you could like see all the pollution. It was horrible.
What an experience to see that as you're 9 years old now. That's a tremendous opportunity to go. Are you 10? Thanks, Elliot. You're 10 years old. So thanks for correcting me. You seem like a smart guy. And is your background in science as well? What's your background, Vanessa? In filmmaking.
Yeah. His dad is a scientist.
Your dad's a scientist. Okay. Is there any scientist that you look up to? I know Mark was asking you that earlier.
I don't know. I like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. You know, when I was younger, like your age, Bill Nye the Science Guy was just getting going in Seattle. And we used to go see him. He did this little small show. And now look at him. That could be,
I know, it's huge.
He's huge.
He's cool.
So do you see yourself as, obviously you are a scientist right now, but what do you see yourself doing maybe when you're a little older?
Well, I don't know. I would always take climate change and science into my life or into account. But unless things get like so extreme that everybody has to quit their jobs to basically like go help this thing, like I don't exactly feel like having a full-time job in climate science would be right for me, but I do like
We're still working on you.
Yeah.
You're still working on
You know what, Elliot? You're like, it's part of life. We're figuring it out all the time, truly figuring
I know
out
people
things.
who work at many different companies and they are totally climate activists and they are like, no way, we don't want climate change at all.
So you're hoping that it doesn't even exist, won't even be an issue when you're older, hopefully.
Hopefully,
Right?
if people start to actually put their effort into it.
Have you
and
shown,
not that I'm young.
Yeah. Have you shown your film Worse Than Poop? Have you shown it to kids at your school?
We've shown it to the green team at my school, and we're supposed to show it sometime this month, maybe next month, in my classroom.
Yeah.
Hoping people will get a laugh about it.
Do
I'm not 100% sure
Yeah.
what people are going to think. I've told a few people about it.
That's good. Well, and what do you think that 10-year-olds are typically thinking about things like climate change?
Probably not, but unlike adults, I think if they're given something, they'll kind of choose to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas they're like, well, I'm not sure I believe that, and it just kind of interferes. But they're like, I've been presented with this new fact, therefore, it is probably true. And I guess that's kind of what happened to me.
Yeah, you got new information. Your mom shared some information with you about this.
Yeah.
You know, and how important it is, and to be involved with it as well. So, what are the key things like when around kids your age, and knowing what you know now about climate change? What are the things you usually tell them to help give them more information so they're more educated about this?
Well, I gotta say,
Well, what about transportation?
Transportation.
Like if someone says,
True. So,
oh, I want to get this really cool car, this cool Porsche, what would you say?
well, be aware at your future kind of thing. I mean, like, people are starting to rave about these new cars. They're like, oh, Chevy's come out with a Wi-Fi car. That is brilliant. And I'm like, it would be brilliant if they could put it in an electric car. And if electric cars were a whole lot bigger than they are right now. I mean, imagine if you switched basically how many electric cars there are on the road now to how many gas cars and like reverse it. So the number of gas cars that are on the road turns into electric cars and electric cars turns into gas cars. That would just make a huge improvement.
It's a great idea. It is a great idea. And what were you hoping, Vanessa, with this film and accomplishing? And obviously going to India was huge to showcase the film there.
Yeah, huge carbon footprint too. I'm still working that one off. My hope is that, so the film is actually now available for free online. It's at worsethanpoop.com, and anybody can go and watch it and share it. And we have a blog, and we have a Facebook page. And if you just Google "worse than poop," you'll find us, for better or for worse. And my hope is we also have a lesson plan that was written by someone who was working with the Climate Corps, who's working up in Humboldt County, actually. And she wrote a whole lesson plan around the film, which is available online for free as well. So my hope is that it will percolate out into the world, and lots more people will watch it and share it, and that it will make its way into classrooms, because it's also designed to fit within the national science standards that are taught.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so and it fits anywhere from literally kindergarten through 8th grade curriculum.
That's great.
So I was also going to say, I don't think we include this in our film, but some people tend to think self-driving cars is the future for modern cities and things. And sure, it might solve a few traffic problems, but honestly, it's not as big as just getting emissions out.
Yeah.
Reduce. People want to plant trees, do all that stuff, help. And here's some people lying on their couches thinking, oh, well, if we just had a self-driving car. I mean, who would want that when we have this massive problem out there, which some people are completely oblivious? It's going right under their nose and they still don't notice it.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes I'm at a loss for words, Elliot, because it's pretty amazing what you're already aware of to be 10 years old. So in that camera right there, what would you want to tell everybody about why it's so important to, what would you want to tell them why it's so important to be involved and to know about climate change and to just do their part? What would you want to say to them about that?
Well, I don't know. I want them to believe that it's real, and I want them to believe that they can make a difference. Even they don't have to make films that send them across the oceans to India. They don't need to say, oh, well, people want me to work in climate change. Well, therefore I must be a climate scientist. I don't want people to think they want me to buy an electric car. Oh no, that means I'll have to sell everything. I need to get a Tesla. There's so many other options out there. Just it's kind of hard to say, just play your part, and if you don't know what that part is, you just kind of have to figure it out.
Yeah.
It'll come to you. I mean, just think what you can do, what you can change, and not think about the things that you should change, but you can't change.
Yeah, good points, Elliot, good points. What about you, Vanessa?
It's pretty well spoken. I think, just recognizing that solving this problem is going to take all of us, literally all of us, but that solving this problem is also going to solve a lot of other problems.
Sure will. Thanks so much, guys, for bringing your film here. And it was just,
having us.
yeah, it was
This
a
has been
pleasure.
Great festival.
It has, really. Did you know that even burning a gallon of gas creates 19 pounds of carbon dioxide? In fact, carbon dioxide is worse than poo-poo. Because carbon dioxide is what's heating up the planet. A bit is good so that the trees can breathe, but too much can be bad. So can too little. But our problem today is having too much, so we need to fix that. Carbon dioxide is worse